Danny Flexen here for SecondsOut. Delighted to be joined by Big John Fury. John, how you doing, mate?
I'm very well, Danny. Hope you're the same.
I'm good, mate. I'm good. Big thanks to freebets.com for making this possible. There's no getting away from who's helped us out here, is there? I don't think. You're all...
Freebets is a fabulous company. You know, I'm lucky to be working with them, you know, and I appreciate everything they do for me. And they're all great guys here, so yeah.
Oh, good stuff. Now, both your sons have been in the news in the last week or so. Tommy, especially recently, the fight with KSI, finally over the line for a Wasserman show. Yeah, you must be delighted. Tommy's, in another huge fight.
Yeah, it's took a bit of time to hammer the deal out, but we got there in the end, as I knew we would. You know, it's been great doing business with the Sowlands, you know, and whatever they do, you know, great people to do business with. You know, a bit of to and fro. In fact, to concede a bit of ground on either end. But yeah, we're there in the end.
I'm sorry we got cut off earlier, but we were talking about Tommy fighting against KSI. And I just wanted to know from you, what sort of challenge do you expect compared to the Jake Paul fight? Do you think it'll be tougher, easier, and for what reasons?
Well, all these guys bring different stuff to the table because they're hard to prepare for because it's unconventional what they do. You know, and I think this could be equally as difficult to fight as what the other one was, because what sparring can you get for them? You can't replicate what they do, so we just got to put our best foot forward and use what we've got to win the fights. But I should think it'll be very competitive. You know, KSI is a skillful fella in his own right, you know, because like I say, the unconventional stuff he does comes into the awkward bracket, and awkward people cause problems. You know, but can we deal with it? Yes, we can. Is it going to be a great night? We hope it is, which I'm sure it will be. You know, and like I say, we'll use the same method as we did before. We're going to train hard. We start camp on the 14th of this month, solid 8 weeks. You know, not going to leave a stone unturned, as we usually don't. And onwards and upwards. And we're looking forward to a great night with him and KSI, Tommy and KSI.
Apologies. How much respect do you have for these guys like Jake Paul and like KSI who've managed to turn their fame into huge money? And Tommy is now going to share in that, of course, and has already.
Well, you can only commend these guys and what they do. You know, they're very intelligent people, aren't they? They're not just boxers or showmen. They're business people as well, and they prove that, and they're good business people. And they are generating a lot of interest in this side of the sport. And it's all fun and games. Like I said in a previous interview, you know, it's different. It's a breath of fresh air, and people do want it. There's a market for it, and it's proven to be that way. You know, but like I say, Tommy's a big name. He's at the top of the tree in their game. Tommy's the man to beat, and they're all going to come for him. You know, and we're going to welcome him with open arms. You know, but like I say, breath of fresh air. I can only say, yes, good stuff about them all. They're good business people. They train hard. They work hard in the gym as well. You can't fault them. You know, and people who try hard in every aspect can only go forward. And that's what these men's done. They've gone forward at an alarming rate to the top of the game. But the problem is, they bumped into Tommy, and that's the downside for them, is they can't beat Tommy no matter what they do.
What's the kind of long-term plan for Tommy? Because obviously you've got these massive mega fights. Is he going to then want to return to traditional boxing with, you know, 5 million quid or whatever it is in his pocket?
Let me tell you, a Fury is born for one thing, to get in that ring and fight. And take that out of their lives. What has he got left? What's he going to do for the rest of his life? He's only just 24 years old. You know, he's going to spend a bit of time doing this, but the square ring will be calling. It never stops calling until you're 45 years old. You know, and I'm afraid that's the case with us. We know nothing else. We do nothing else. It's our life. We enjoy it. And we're just going to take it wherever it takes us and be there with it until the very end. You know, because that's what we do. We all up to the square ring. You know, it's been our talisman right from the word off. Even myself as a younger man, even though it was only on small all shows, I fought on a few big shows, but it was still sharing the ring with great people who share the ring like boxers and gladiators. You know, and we're just glad to be part of that. And my sons have took it to another level. You know, so what can I say yet? I think we'll be doing it till they've got beards as grey as mine.
There's a recent interview with your old pal Eddie Hearn where he largely praised the fight, said, you know, he commends Tommy for, making as much money as he is and doing so well in that area. But he also talked about whether Tommy has limitations in terms of getting to championship level via the traditional route. What do you make of that? And do you see him coming back and ascending those levels when he comes back to traditional boxing?
Well, why not, and nobody can really make comment because Tommy's still in the novice stages, isn't he? As a professional boxer. He had 10 amateur junior bouts. He's only had 10 as a pro, or 9 on one exhibition, That makes 10 with the exhibition. So I don't think anybody can judge anybody, at this stage of the game, But, all I can say about Eddie Hearn, it's nice for him to be saying good things about people from the Fury family at last. But listen, what can I say? He's a fortunate kid. I look after him as best as I possibly can. I try to make all the right moves from it, and it's paying off. And like I say, if Eddie Hearn's nice to me, I'm going to be nice to him. But when he says stuff like, does he have this and does he have that, I don't think he's got the experience in the game or the knowledge in the game to make comments like that. I've been in this game 45, nearly 50 years. Has he? I don't think he has. And let's put it this way. Every time I call a fight, I'm right all the time, nearly. Paul Crawford and Spence, didn't I? Weeks ago. And I got that right, so he's got a lot more wrong than me in the game. Listen, he says nice stuff about me, I'll say nice stuff about him. But this still stands. If him and his mate want to share the ring, we'll fight the two together. If we get 10 million, I'll take $1 million a piece off them, they can afford it.
Also, Frank Smith and Eddie?
Yeah, I'll fight Frank Smith and Eddie at the same time, yeah. Forget 10 million, it'll cost them $1 million each. If you think they'd take a bit of this with them, a bit of John Fury home with them and beat him up, get it on in it. Listen, it's the world of fun and games. Let's participate. I'm able. They're a lot younger men than me. I'm older than the both of them combined together. But still, I'm still capable of bashing them up.
With that in mind, someone online earlier this week mentioned the possibility of you perhaps facing KSI's brother, Deji, on the undercard of the show with Tommy on it. What do you make of that? Because he's even younger.
What part of me does he want to box? Tell me that. I'm just thinking of a part what's as big as him. He can box that.
Let's not get into which part that might be, John, because it's a family for the most part.
I'm only 1.5 stone heavier than him.
we'll take that as a maybe.
It's fun and games, isn't it? Fun and games. And I've got to admire it. Well done, fair play. That's made me laugh today, that.
I'm glad you embraced your idea.
Listen, it's great stuff.
We'll tell him John's taking it under consideration.
Listen.
Let's talk about Tyson as well. He's got a huge fight, another huge money fight. Your family parties are gonna be somewhere special going forward. I think he's got Francis Ngannou, obviously big crossover fight. How excited are you about it? One of the best in the world in MMA against one of the best, or if not the best in the world at boxing.
Again, a marvellous spectacle for the fans. The only winners are the fans, because it's bringing something different again. I know Tyson can beat every conventional boxer on the planet, but this man brings an all new structure to everything. He can punch like an horse kicking, and if he does land on you, you're going to be in orbit. Because I've seen what he can do. I've seen his punching power firsthand, so. And they say about exhibitions and this, that, and the other, when two men's in that ring, and their egos are flying high, they're going to be trying to kill each other, believe me. Exhibition. When they're in there facing each other in leather swaps, they're going to try and get it on each other, aren't they? It's common knowledge what fighters do. I've never seen an exhibition where I've never enjoyed it. Even back in the amateur days when we used to do exhibitions, it was as good as proper fights. The only thing is there's no decision, is there? But they're still going to knock 7 belts of each other. But again, a spectacular sight. It's in a great country of Saudi, great kingdom, should I say. And there's no better place than that for me. They're all great people over there. And I look forward to going there again. What can I say? Good luck to them. Well done putting the fight on. A lot of people's tried to put it on. Couldn't. But the Saudis have succeeded again where others can't. So big up to them. Well done.
There has been some criticism of Tyson not defending his WBC title for the rest of this year now, presumably. What do you make of that? And is it just that the fights weren't available?
It's not that the fights wasn't available. They didn't want to fight Tyson, did they? He offered them money to fight. It was good paydays, and they opted to do another thing what backfired on them. He done a run or two where people he thought was going to, be beneficial to him. It turned out the wrong way. It wasn't that Tyson didn't want to. Tyson won't avoid anybody because he knows he can beat them all at a canter. And all these people jumping on the Usyk case, let them jump on it. They're going to be very disappointed because he's in a class of his own, Tyson. He's going to take what's on the table. Francis Ngannou, top of the game. He's a world champion at what he does. He ain't going to wait around for nobody. He's the king of the ring and all roads lead to him. If you want to fight Tyson, do what you say you're going to do. Fall in line and take what you're offered, or else it's down the road with you. He's at that stage in his career now, Tyson. He just basically, he's going to do what he wants to do, isn't he? And I don't blame him. He's earned the right to do that in every way. Like I say, things have got to happen. For my money, he's got to fight Usyk. He will fight Usyk. It's just a matter of time and when they can get it together. But I'm sure they can, and I'm sure they will. That's a foregone conclusion. That is definitely going to happen, but when, I can't tell you. Not at this moment in time. But it is going to happen, I know that.